LD email sat in my inbox for 3 days before I opened it. Subject line, I need a huge favor. From Victoria Chen, CEO of Chen Innovations. I stared at it during my lunch break at the coffee shop where I worked. Victoria Chen didn't need favors from baristas. We'd been friends in college, close friends actually, before life took us in wildly different directions. She'd gone to business school, built a tech empire worth hundreds of millions. I'd dropped out junior year when my mom got sick, never went back. We'd stayed in touch sporadically, birthday texts, the occasional coffee when she was in town, but we hadn't really talked in over a year. I opened the email. Marcus, I know this is out of the blue, but I'm desperate. My ex-fiancé is getting married next month, and I got an invitation. Everyone from our old social circle will be there. I can't show up alone. It'll look like I'm still pining for him. I need a date, someone who won't expect anything, who I can actually relax around. I know it's a lot to ask, but would you consider coming with me? All expenses paid, nice hotel, good food, please? Victoria. I read it 3 times. My ex-fiancé. I didn't even know Victoria had been engaged. The wedding was on a Saturday I had off. I had no plans beyond laundry and catching up on sleep. I typed back, sure, when and where. Her response came in under a minute. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll send details. You're a lifesaver. 2 weeks later, a package arrived at my apartment. Inside was a perfectly tailored suit, expensive shoes, and a note. Please wear this. I need you to look the part. See you Saturday. 5. The suit fit perfectly. She'd remembered my measurements from when we'd helped each other shop for career fair outfits in college. That attention to detail was so Victoria. Saturday arrived. A town car picked me up at my apartment. I lived in a neighborhood where town cars didn't usually go. The driver took me to Victoria's penthouse downtown. She answered the door in a stunning red dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Her dark hair was styled in an elegant updo, diamond earrings catching the light. Marcus. Oh my God, you look amazing. She pulled me into a hug. Thank you so much for doing this. Happy to help. Though I have to ask, why me? You must know dozens of people who'd love to be your date. Victoria's smile faded slightly, because they'd all have expectations. They'd think this meant something, or they'd try to network, or they'd see it as an opportunity. You're the only person I know who'll just be my friend and not want anything from me. It was a sad statement about her life that the only person she could trust was someone she barely saw anymore. So what's the story? I asked as we headed to the car. Who's the ex, and why are we doing this? Victoria settled into the leather seat with a sigh. His name is Brandon Westfield. We were together for 3 years, engaged for 1. Everyone said we were perfect together, both successful, both ambitious, both from the right families. What happened? I got the CEO position. Suddenly I was making more money than him, had more prestige, more demands on my time. He couldn't handle it. Started making comments about me being too busy, too focused on work. Then I found out he'd been having an affair with his assistant. Victoria laughed bitterly. Cliché, right? I'm sorry, don't be, I dodged a bullet. But he's marrying her, the assistant, and he made sure I got an invitation because he's petty like that. He wants me to see him happy, wants to prove he's moved on. Have you moved on? Victoria was quiet for a moment. I've moved on from him, but I haven't moved on from the failure, from feeling like I chose wrong, trusted the wrong person. Everyone's going to be watching me today, waiting to see if I'm bitter or broken. I need to show them I'm fine. Are you fine? I will be once this wedding is over. The ceremony was at an estate. Outside the city, all manicured gardens and old money elegance. We arrived during the cocktail hour before the ceremony, Victoria's hand tucked into my arm like we'd done this 1,000 times. The whispers started immediately. Victoria Chen brought a date. Who is he? I didn't recognize him from their usual circle. Victoria handled it perfectly, introducing me as Marcus, an old friend from college without elaboration. Let them wonder. We found our seats as the ceremony began. Brandon Westfield stood at the altar in an expensive tux, looking smug. His bride, young, beautiful, nervous, walked down the aisle to string quartet music. I glanced at Victoria. Her face was composed, pleasant, giving nothing away. but I noticed her hand gripping the ceremony program tightly enough to wrinkle it. The officiant began. "We're gathered here today to celebrate the union of Brandon and Ashley. Standard wedding stuff. I'd been to enough of these. I was mentally checking out, planning how to get Victoria through the reception without incident, when the vows started. Brandon went first. "Ashley, you showed me what it means to be with someone who puts me first, who makes time for me, who prioritizes our relationship over career ambitions. You reminded me that success means nothing without someone to share it with." I felt Victoria stiffen beside me. The dig was obvious. I put you first, unlike my ex who cared more about her job. Then Ashley spoke. "Brandon, you've taught me so much about the kind of life I want. The stability, the security, the beautiful home. You've given me everything I ever dreamed of." The words were loving, but something felt off, like she was describing a prize she'd won, not a person she loved. The ceremony continued. Rings were exchanged. "I now pronounce you husband and wife." Everyone applauded. Victoria's applause was perfectly timed, perfectly enthusiastic. No one would guess she'd ever dated this man, much less been engaged to him. "I need air," she whispered. "Can we skip the receiving line?" We slipped out to the gardens while everyone else filed into the reception hall. Victoria's composure cracked the moment we were alone. "Did you hear that?" She paced across the stone pathway. "He basically told the entire wedding that I was a terrible partner because I worked too much. And she's so young. She probably thinks being married to money is the same as being happy." Victoria, and I'm angry at myself for caring. I don't want him back. I wouldn't take him back if he begged. So why does it still hurt? I let her vent, watching her pace. Finally, she stopped, looking exhausted. "I thought coming here would prove something," Victoria said quietly. "That I could show everyone I'm fine, that I've moved on, that he didn't break me. But standing there watching him marry someone else, hearing him take shots at me in his vows, it just reminded me how lonely I am. You're not alone. You have friends, family. Do I? I have business associates. I have family who call when they need something. I have people who want access to my money or my connections. When's the last time someone just wanted to spend time with me, no agenda?" She looked at me. "Besides you today, and I had to beg you to come. You didn't beg. You asked, and I said yes because we're friends. Are we? Be honest, Marcus. We text on birthdays. We haven't had a real conversation in over a year. I'm not sure I know how to be friends with people anymore. I'm not sure I know how to be anything except a CEO. I should have gone back to the reception, should have played my role, gotten through the rest of the evening, collected my fee for the favor. Instead, I said, 'Tell me about your life. Not the business stuff, the real stuff.'" Victoria looked surprised. "What do you mean? What do you do for fun? What do you care about besides work? Who is Victoria Chen when she's not running a company?" She opened her mouth, then closed it. "I don't know. I work. I go to business dinners. I attend charity events that are really networking opportunities. I haven't done something just for fun in how long? I can't remember." She sat down on a stone bench, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. When did I become this person? When did my entire identity become my job? I sat beside her. "What did you used to love? In college, before everything got so serious?" A small smile. "I loved art museums. I'd go every Sunday, just wander around looking at paintings. I loved trying new restaurants, the weird little places no one had heard of. I loved bad reality TV that I'd never admit to watching. I loved—" She trailed off. "I can't remember the last time I did any of that." "Why not?" "Because CEOs don't have time for wandering around art museums. Because successful people don't waste time on reality TV. Because I convinced myself that to deserve my success, I had to sacrifice everything else." Did Brandon think that too? Victoria was quiet. Brandon thought I should sacrifice my work for him, that a good partner would turn down the CEO position, would prioritize his comfort over my ambition. When I wouldn't, he punished me by cheating, then by leaving, and now by marrying someone who will make him her whole world. Do you think Ashley's happy? I think Ashley thinks she's supposed to be happy. That's not the same thing. From the reception hall, we could hear music starting, the first dance. We'd missed dinner, missed the toasts. We were supposed to be in there playing our parts. Do you want to go back in? I asked. Victoria looked toward the building, then back at me. No, I really don't, but I should. People will talk if I skip my ex's reception. Let them talk. Easy for you to say. You don't live in my world. Maybe that's a good thing. I stood, offered my hand. Come on. Let's get out of here. And go where? Anywhere but here. When's the last time you did something spontaneous? Victoria took my hand, letting me pull her to her feet. Marcus, I can't just leave. I have the car, and people expect, we'll get an Uber, and people can expect whatever they want. You came, you saw him get married, you held your head high. You don't owe anyone anything else. For a long moment, Victoria wavered. Then something shifted in her expression. Okay, let's go. We walked out of the estate gardens, past the valets, down to the main road. Victoria kicked off her heels halfway there, carrying them in one hand while we waited for our ride. Where to? The Uber driver asked. Victoria looked at me. I looked back at her. Art museum? I suggested. Her face lit up. Is it even open this late? I checked my phone. Until 9, we've got an hour. The museum was nearly empty on a Saturday evening. We wandered through galleries of modern art, classical paintings, sculptures. Victoria didn't network, didn't check her phone, didn't think about business. She just looked at art. In front of a Monet, she stopped. I proposed to Brandon in a museum. Did I ever tell you that? You proposed to him? I know, very modern of me. We were at the Met in New York, and I just felt so happy, so sure. I thought, why wait for him to ask? Why not go after what I want? She smiled sadly. He said yes. But looking back, I think his ego never recovered from not being the one to propose. One more way, I wasn't the right kind of woman. Or he wasn't the right kind of man. Maybe. Victoria moved to the next painting. Thank you for today, for coming, for listening, for leaving when I needed to leave. You could have stayed, enjoyed the free food and open bar. I'd rather be here. Why? This isn't what you signed up for. I signed up to help a friend. Turns out what you needed wasn't a date to make your ex jealous. It was permission to stop performing. Victoria's eyes got bright. I'm so tired of performing, of being on all the time, of being the successful CEO who has it all together. Today was supposed to be me proving I've moved on. But all it did was remind me how much I've sacrificed. It's not too late to get some of it back, isn't it? I'm 36, married to my job, surrounded by people who want something from me. I don't know how to have a normal life anymore. Start small. Art museums on Sundays. Bad reality TV on weeknights. The weird restaurants nobody's heard of. Will you come with me to the weird restaurants? I smiled. Is that you asking me on an actual date, or you asking for another favor? Victoria looked surprised at her own boldness. I don't know. Maybe both? I just know that today, for the first time in years, I felt like myself. Not the CEO, not the ex-fiancée, just Victoria. And it was because I was with someone who doesn't want anything from me except my company. I'd like that, I said. The weird restaurants, the reality TV. Getting to know who Victoria is when she's not running an empire. Even though I'm a mess, even though I'm figuring out how to have a life outside of work. Everyone's a mess. At least you're honest about it. We stayed at the museum until closing, then got dinner at a tiny Thai place Victoria had never been to. She ordered wrong, too spicy, too much food, and laughed about it instead of stressing. We talked about everything except work. She told me about the art classes she used to take, the pottery that sat unfinished in her storage unit, the piano she'd learned as a kid and hadn't touched in a decade. I told her about the coffee shop, about the customers I'd gotten to know, about the novel I was writing in my spare time, that would probably never be published, but I enjoyed anyway. You seem happy, Victoria said. Happier than me, anyway. And I make 100 times what you make. Money doesn't buy happiness. It just buys better quality misery. She laughed. That's dark. But true. Walking back to the car service Victoria had called, she stopped suddenly. I don't want this day to end. I don't want to. Go back to my empty penthouse, and my emails and my board meetings. I want to stay right here, being a person instead of a position. So stay here, not literally here on this sidewalk, but in this headspace. You're the CEO, you make the rules. Start making rules that let you have a life. It's not that simple, isn't it? You're in charge. Delegate more. Hire people you trust. Set boundaries. Take Sundays off for art museums. People will say I'm slacking, losing my edge. Let them. What matters more? What people say or how you feel? Victoria considered this. No one's ever asked me that before. Everyone just assumes I should want to work all the time, that success is its own reward. Is it? No. Success is lonely. Success is exhausting. Success is watching your ex-fiancé marry someone else and realizing you have no one to go home to. You have someone now, if you want. Victoria looked at me, really looked at me. Are you asking what I think you're asking? I'm saying I'd like to get to know you again. The real you. And maybe you'd like to get to know me. See where it goes. You'd date your college friend who became a workaholic CEO? I'd date the woman who kicked off her heels to escape a wedding, who spent an hour looking at paintings like they were the most important thing in the world, who admitted she's lost and lonely and trying to find her way back. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. I don't know how to do this. How to date. How to be vulnerable. How to trust someone won't leave when it gets hard. We'll figure it out together. No pressure, no expectations. Just two people trying to have lives that matter beyond their resumes. She kissed me then, right there on the street corner, with her expensive dress and bare feet and makeup smudged from almost crying. When we pulled apart, she laughed. This is crazy. I asked you to fake date me to a wedding, and now we're actually dating? Life's weird like that. What happens on Monday, when I'm back to being CEO Victoria and you're back to making lattes? We remember this moment, and we make time for more moments like it. It wasn't simple. Victoria's life didn't transform overnight. But she started small, delegating more, leaving work at 6 instead of 9, taking Sundays off. We explored weird restaurants, binge-watched terrible reality TV, visited art museums like we were college kids again with nothing but time. Her board worried she was losing focus. Her competitors whispered she was getting soft. Victoria stopped caring what they thought and started caring about what she felt. 6 months later, Victoria restructured her company to promote a COO who could handle day-to-day operations. She stayed CEO but shifted to strategy and vision, the part she actually loved. Her company didn't fall apart. It actually improved, turned out. A well-rested CEO with a life outside work made better decisions. A year after the wedding, Victoria and I were at another wedding, this time my cousin's. During the vows, she leaned over and whispered, "Thank you for saying yes that day. To being my fake date. Best favor I ever did." It wasn't a favor, it was the start of my actual life. The bride and groom kissed. Everyone applauded. Victoria took my hand, and this time, there was nothing fake about it. Sometimes the best relationships start with low expectations. Sometimes the person you need isn't the one who impresses everyone else, but the one who reminds you who you are when nobody's watching. And sometimes, showing up as a favor becomes showing up for a lifetime. Because Victoria hadn't needed a date to her ex's wedding. She'd needed permission to stop performing, to be honest about her loneliness, to admit that success without substance was just expensive emptiness. And I hadn't just said yes to being her date. I'd said yes to seeing her, really seeing her, and helping her see herself again. If this story resonated with you, please like and share it with someone who's learning. That success means nothing without genuine connection. Subscribe for more stories about finding yourself in real love, and comment about a time when someone saw the real you beneath the performance. Those moments of being truly seen change everything.